Hello, and welcome once again to The Old Man Speaks. I'm Joshua. I'm the old man who comes to you 3 times a week for 5 minutes. Look what I found. And it says, Made in the USA. Imagine that. This is the story of Jack and Jill. Jack was a very nice young man. Ira's grandma used to have a saying that TOO anything is no good. Too rich, too smart, too arrogant. Jack wasn't too anything. He was just right. He worked very hard in school, usually came out with B's. He played a bit of sports, but not too much. He liked playing guitar and singing, and he was good at it, but not too good. So everybody liked Jack, except there was this one guy who was kind of like the school bully. His name was Ben Smith, and he caused Jack a lot of trouble. He would take his homework and throw it out the window and say, "Hey, Jack, what you going to do about it?" He would push him sometimes against the lockers just to torment him. Sometimes Jack just didn't want to go to school, and he certainly did not want to deal with this guy, and Jack was quite miserable. But when they hit 16, it seems like Ben disappeared. He quit school, and that was that. Also in the school was another guy named Ben Smith, and this guy was just the opposite. He spelled his name Smith. Bully Ben spelled it Smyth. And this guy, Ben, reminded me of our friend Joel. When somebody walks in a room, goes over and says, "Hi, I'm Ben. What's your name?" and starts talking and makes them feel important and comfortable. In my neighborhood, we'd say this guy's a real mensch. And that's what Ben Smith was like. So they were very good friends. Jack was a good guy. Ben Smith was a good guy. And they hung out a good bit together. Then Jack went away to college just up the hill. And the college up the hill had people in the next town. And so he met people he had not met before. And he met Jill. Well, Jill was a very nice gal, really full of life, full of good judgment, very smart girl, and they hit it off right away. At the semester break, it was decided that Jill would come down the hill and they would have a little party. And they figured that the nice way to invite people to this party was to handwrite invitations and send them out in the mail. They had enough time to do this. And so they sat down at the dining room table and they filled out the addresses and sent them off. Well, Jill was the one that sent the invitation to Ben Smith, only she got the wrong Ben Smith. Jack didn't know this. So here they are on party day. They have a nice barbecue. People are really mellow. And then Jack sees the bully Ben Smith coming up to the party. He hadn't seen him in a few years. Like, "Oh no, I can't stand this guy. I don't know what I'm going to do. Somebody has to get rid of him. Somebody has to tell him to leave." And Jill said, "Wait a minute. You go over to him. You greet him. You make him feel comfortable, and see what happens." Now, Jack really didn't want to do this. He thought to himself, is this what married life is going to be like, with her telling me to do things that I don't really want to do? But he did respect Jill. So he went over, he said, "Hey, Ben, so glad you can come. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you made it." And Ben said, "I really appreciate you having me. I have to go to work soon, but I was so touched that you would think about inviting me, particularly after all I did to you. Those were hard times for me. I was having to deal with an abusive stepfather and watching him beat my sisters up and my mother, and he was an alcoholic, and I was having all sorts of problems. But at 16, I left that house, I left school, and I got a job. A very nice fellow took me in as an apprentice in the construction company, and that saved my life. So I'm sorry for all those things that went on then. I'm really trying to get my act together, and I have to leave soon. But I just want to say thank you, and wish you all the best of luck. After that, Jack went in the room by himself and just thought for a while. What do you think that Jack thought about? And what do you think the moral of this story is? Well, we're coming up to the new year of man, and boy, could we use a real new year. Lashana Tova. See ya.